surround. Everyone was crying. All the light was fading like the light's back now.
Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I'm Ms. Day. This is a collective reading, so whoever you are, I feel like there was a period of time in the recent past that may have even been like a long period of time, or it was so like slow moving that it felt like an eternity as it was passing. But I feel like someone was almost like in solitude, focusing on how to get their financial situation into like a solid foundation. So it feels like in that solitude, you also were working on like self-growth, and I feel like this huge inner upheaval of emotions and like emotional reactions and healing came up. I think that it was like a physical type of reaction to your own focus and your own questions. And I think that your external manifestation, it's like, it feels like a really kind of like a quick like a quick manifestation when you're focusing on making something happen. And I feel like it happens even when you don't. So that's actually crazy, because the entire reading, whoever I am talking to, it feels so much like that part of you that was able to battle your own self. Like it was your own inner battle. I think you broke free of connections. I think you broke free of your own cycles. And that was like a lot. That was pure effort on your part. And also decision on your part. I don't think anybody put that into your view. I think you decided now is the time. And like, if I really want to step up, I have to step it all up. And I feel like you almost like kind of packed that away and silenced that in a really huge positive way. And it's like a leader. That's kind of how I feel. Whoever this reading is for, it's like I feel like you have the capacity to be a leader, and it kind of leads you into solitude a lot. And I feel like right now, currently, I think that you may have established a financial sort of like, at least a vision. Even if you're not experiencing the financial stability right at this moment, I think you have a vision that's sort of like a breath of fresh air, where suddenly, after you actually worked through and released these huge emotions for a minute, and it may have been really unpleasant while you were doing that too, for some of you. I think that when you were releasing all of those emotions, it's like it left you with just a clearer view, like a clearer perception of your own future, but your own ability to grab that future. I just thought of a Weezer song again, which I think I've mentioned in a reading on here before, but it was like that one where if you want it, you can have it. You've just got to learn to reach out there and grab it. It's like, I feel like you were awakened to your own ability. That even makes me think of something that I heard Oprah say once when she was talking about how like she altered her view from making television something that she worked for into something that she made work for her. Like she wanted to make it work for her, serving others. And so she took control. And it's like when she took control, she took that control when she finally realized she had it. It's like when you realize all the power is in your hands. Yeah, okay. I feel like you gained a huge emotional endurance. Like all of the upheavals, I think you've gone through kind of at different stages of your life. Sometimes I think you don't even know why. Like I feel like you don't even tie it to a certain experience. But it's been you leveling out and balancing yourself out. And whoever this reading is for, one of the first things I was thinking was that you've almost been left in this position, which it feels, so it's like it looks present, but it feels kind of like recent. But past, like something that's over, because I think that you realized, or some of you I think are realizing that the connections you have in like friends or social groups or family, even some of you it's family, like I feel like you're almost feeling sad because your new high vibration doesn't mesh as comfortably and as like invisibly as it used to. Like I think that you know it's there, and I think that maybe they know it's there even if they don't know what it is. But I feel like you balancing yourself out and you leveling yourself out, it's leaving you in this situation where you're like almost seeing too clearly. And I feel this is crazy. This makes me think of, I had this moment and I knew it had to do with a YouTube reading. So I feel like this has to be a large group of you, whoever's listening to this video, obviously. It's like there's this period of time that I think you just are getting yourself out of, because it feels like there are interactions, or there were interactions that you almost like knew that you were looking over your own shoulder with them, where you're like, I know I can't trust them, but I'm not going to put that thought at the forefront of my mind out of kindness. Like, I think that I'm talking, this is insanely cool, and this is why it matters to me so much, like who I get to connect with on here. Because this reading felt so much like whoever you are, you know, and I think part of you has always known that you wanted to do something very different than anything you've ever seen done. Or maybe you saw things done like, I feel like there are older people that are like from past generations that you've like liked their work. But I feel like a lot of you in this, you almost like feel more attached to like the older times, no matter which period of time it was. I'm saying literally like before now. I feel like this whole financial thing, it like ties into your own emotional growth. And I feel like whoever you are, this period of time that has ended recently, or is sort of like creeping up at you, like you can see it, but you're not full. It's almost like you're sitting there taking a breath before you do it, before like things you have to take like a final step forward, and you know that it's going to be in solitude again. That's what it feels like. And that doesn't literally mean that there will be no one around you. I just feel like whoever you are, you're stepping into there is an ending to a period of time that you have been almost looking inward so much that you had chains to you, and you knew that it was temporary, but it was heavy and hard and lonely. But I think that this was all for a purpose, and you've served that purpose within yourself. And I think that you may not have even been able to enjoy any benefits of that until you step forward now. And it's like, you know that, you see that, and you know that that's part of what's holding you back still, but you're going to do it. Okay. So there's this crazy feeling I had in the last few days. It was like letting go of a period of time, stepping forward out of it, and looking over your shoulder at it, and being like, it's like, I feel like, this is crazy, I feel like someone had been drowning, almost like drowning for so long, and then suddenly, it's like suddenly either you are allowed to finally remember that you can swim. Like you can swim. And I feel like this is a part of breaking those past cycles too. I feel like as you step forward and release old ties, old things, it's like you're also allowed to add little pockets of things that are like new joys and new cool endeavors, like for your own self, you know, as a part of your new lifestyle. That's not, I mean, that would be a cool thing for everybody to do, but I feel like that's not necessarily like directed at everyone. Because someone, I feel like, is almost like afraid of stepping forward alone. Okay, so it's like whoever you are, that driving force that allowed you to like kind of overcome, I think, really deep emotional turmoil that maybe would have crumbled others, but didn't crumble you. Even if it felt like it was, well, because like that's what it feels like when we're processing the worst. And it's like, I think that you really built yourself as you went through those things. You became something of that experience. And I think stepping forward fully, it's like you're in that moment where you're going to recognize you have control and solitude. So you can actually take the focus off of what you're letting go of and laser focus all of that going forward now into almost like an artistic, path of your own, where it's like that's how you need to envision moving forward, where that emotional that emotional strength that was willing to go through the self-growth and hold yourself accountable, I feel, even for handling your own self-growth, it's like I think that's your driving mechanism forward, where you're going to turn that now. You're going to put that out now. Like now it's going to become a physical act in your own life. And you may not know what that means. Like you may not know what that pathway looks like. And I feel like that's an important part of this message is this sounds nuts, but like not all of you, but some of you I think almost feel drawn back to like past types of connections just to have like a comfort connection real quick. Just to have like just like that security of knowing that you can contact someone at some point, That's not everyone, obviously. But there's almost like, instead of reaching back, this is another thing that I was thinking. There's almost like, it feels like someone needs to stop and, okay, whatever it is that some of you are experiencing right now, it's like the message for you is that you're actually, all that stuff that's happened to you, like that you're aware of right now, it's actually in the past. So if that's always sort of this is not all of you, this is some of you. It's like if that's always sort of in your view, then you're kind of living in the past. I know that sounds like kind of hard, because that's a lot easier said than done to be like, oh, well, just you're living in the past. I don't mean like, we'll step out of it now. But I feel like the message for them is literally those words for you. Because I think whoever you are, you don't want the past to have a grip on you. You're like, no, I've done plenty of work. I don't need that I don't need those types of pulls on me. It is so... This is another thing. It feels like whoever this reading is for, I do feel like I'm talking to people who want, whether you're doing a job that is in your future line of like serving your full purpose or not, I think that it's almost like I'm talking to the people who want to do something like extraordinary, not just like normal, not just like settle at some level. Like I feel like you're really trying to reach for something that's going to do something and like make a big difference. So that's why it makes total sense that the first kind of vibe I got when I sat down to do this reading was like a leader, like I'm talking to a leader, because I think that that's who is willing to go through that inner work and to also take the secluded time, the alone time, and like work out whatever it is that's going to make you able to like produce what it is you're trying to produce. Okay, so I hope that's helpful for someone. If you feel like these readings resonate, definitely subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it and those of you who have shared the videos, and I love it when you comment, and thank you for liking them as well. That's very cool. I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you in the next reading.